Hey everybody, we are here with Cindy Brinker Simmons, the daughter of Little Mo and the president of MCB Tennis. She helps organize and she helps with the Little Mo tournaments. And to get us started, Cindy, everyone knows the Little Mo. At this point, they've become almost like a tradition in junior tennis. Can you tell us a little bit about how you guys came up with the idea of the Little Mo tournaments?
Certainly. Well, hi, Matthias. It's always good to be with you, and so glad that we're here in beautiful Texas. It's a little hot, but that's Texas tennis for you, our Southern regionals. The Little Mo tournaments were a way to be unique in junior tennis, as you said, Matthias. So we created a mechanism by which eights could play 8-year-olds, 9-year-olds could play 9-year-olds, 10s, 11s, and 12s. That's our sweet spot. And then we have the Big Mo at some of our other tournaments for the 13s, 14s, 15s, and 16s. But we wanted a tournament where the kids, the elite, gifted, and talented children, players, could come and compete against their own talent of their age. And it's really served its purpose well because even the best 9 and 10-year-olds can't really compete with 11 and 12-year-olds, the physicality and the strength. So it's been really fun. And the parents have really remarked how the consistency and the comparison in age groups has really helped their children see what kind of talent's out there, Matthias, and what to shoot for. And I think mom, when she was playing, her age group was 3 years different. So it was the 13s, the 15s, the 18s. But to have players be able to play in their own age group is really special.
Okay, so what makes Little Mo tournaments so special compared to other tournaments?
I think the relationships that are established. We have the best players, no question. We have the best 8 to 12-year-old players in the country. And then in our international tournaments, Matthias, we have the best international 8 to 12-year-old players. So the competition is stunning, astounding, and outstanding. But also, we want to make sure that the kids have fun and that they recognize that tennis is more than just being a champion on the court. It's also being a champion off the court. And what do they do with their championship status? If my mom was standing here today and all we did was just have tournaments that only focused on being a champion, holding up that trophy and saying, I won a tournament, I think she'd be a little disappointed because for her, tennis was also a way to showcase determination, to showcase fair play, to showcase sportsmanship, to showcase an attitude of gratitude to parents and coaches. Because we tell the players that when they're on that court, yes, they are all by themselves on that tennis court, but yet they have a team of parents, siblings who come and watch them and cheer them on, coaches. And that's really important to have an attitude of gratitude in life, not just in tennis, to say thank you to the people that undergird you and help you. Also, the relationships that are established. We say we're very relationship centric. And many of our kids through the Little Mo Club or through email and Instagram, they keep up with each other and they play doubles together and they email each other during the different tournaments and friendships, genuine friendships are established. So I think mom, in the spirit of what she saw in tennis, she wanted to give back to the sport because remember, Matthias, she had an accident when she was 19 years old that literally abruptly cut short her tennis career. She wasn't even 20 when she had a horseback riding accident that literally, after winning 9 of the Grand Slams, she was en route to defending her 4th U.S. Open and she had a horseback riding accident. So at 20, she had to do something with this passion of tennis that had given her so much. So she wanted to give back to the sport of tennis, and thus, in 1968, started the Maureen Connolly Brinker Tennis Foundation, but with Nancy Jeffett, who was also a very good tennis player. So if she had not had the love of the sport and wanting to be other focused, not self-focused, this beautiful Little Mo tournaments and the Maureen Connolly Brinker Tennis Foundation wouldn't have existed. So again, the idea of giving back, of doing things for others, of taking your passion and doing something with it is another important attribute that we preach at our Little Mo tournaments. Again, to be great champions, yes, on the court, the hardware, the trophies show that, but to also be champions off the court.
Well, that's great. Moving on to the next question. How do you think it would make your mom feel coming into one of these tournaments and seeing how far the foundation has gone?
I think she would be astounded. When Nancy Jeffett and Mom started the Maureen Connolly Brinker Tennis Foundation in 1968, they basically wanted just to give grants to promising young players because the only reason Mom was able to go and compete on just not a domestic, a U.S. theater, basically, but also internationally, is because of the generosity of the San Diego tennis patrons. They funded Mom's tennis playing. So she wasn't just another great player on the San Diego court. So because of the generosity of people who had been so kind to her, they started, Nancy Jeffett and Mom, the Maureen Connolly Brinker Tennis Foundation, to fund promising juniors. So that was the original intent. But then to grow the foundation into these tournaments, we have about 28 tournaments a year, and we have our sectional tournaments that are part of the Road to Little Mo Nationals. We have our sectionals and our regionals, and today we're one of 4 regionals here in Arlington for the Southerns. And then we have a Northern, Eastern, and Western regional as well. And then the top players advance to our nationals. And I don't think Mom ever would have envisioned that. Plus, we have our 3 international tournaments, and then any player that wins all 3 of those international tournaments in one calendar year gets a 6-foot trophy that's a slam trophy to commemorate Mom's win at the Grand Slam 1953. But I think she would just be so in awe. She would marvel at the families that come here to support tennis, of the love of tennis among communities of people. And again, internationally, we have 63 countries that came to our last international tournament in December. That's our grandbaby of them all. But the fact that families come, they commune together, relationships are established here, friendships. That's what would make her happiest. To see how tennis, like for her, how tennis had blessed her, how tennis is blessing families, not just for themselves, but to have friendships among others, and see the caliber of play, Mateus. Oh my goodness, I see these players who just are so gifted. And I think she would be astounded today at the caliber of play, too. So, all in all, I think Mom would just be so thrilled. And to have youngsters like you that are doing great things with tennis, both on and off the court, and just volunteers coming and supporting our tournament, and then just the families, she would just be in awe.
Okay, well, that's great, Cindy. So our final question is, you see all these players like Dominic Thiem, Andy Roddick, Belinda Bencic, Coco Gauff. You see them all playing when they're around 10 or 12
Yes.
years old, and now you see them playing the Olympics, playing the Grand Slams. How does that make you feel, seeing that you just saw a Grand Slam champion 10, 20 years ago playing these tournaments?
Ah, Matthias, it's so exciting. And what it shows is that the Little Mo is a great foundation for these young players to start their tournament career. As a matter of fact, Andy Roddick said that the Little Mo was the first tournament he ever won. So that's the whole point of our tournaments, is to have a foundation where they can play other people. And Coco Gauff said the same thing, that when she won this tournament, it showed the level of competition. So we salute our former Little Mo players, our champions that go on to do great things. And now we're beginning to see those players, Mateus, because they're aging to that age, 18, 19, 20, because 10 years ago they were only 8, 9, 10. So we salute them. We are so proud of them. And yet the reason they continue is for the love of the sport. They continue because they love the sport. They practice hard, but they have a passion. And it has to be their passion. It can't be their parents. It can't be their coaches. And you can tell all of these players are so enjoying the sport of tennis, which we say is the sport of a lifetime.
And what's your advice for all the next generation of players that dream of becoming pros, just like Andy Roddick, Dominic
Sure.
Thiem, Coco Gauff?
Sure. I would say make sure you love what you're doing. Make sure that the fun of tennis, even though it's hard and it is tough playing in triple degree digits temperatures, and it's hard to always practice and sacrifice. There's a lot of sacrificing that goes on in tennis. But always make sure that the passion is there, because when the passion is there, that will fuel you beyond the sacrifice. And then just go out on the court and play your game. And whether you're down love 40, play your game. Don't compromise or don't modify. Play your game and enjoy. And particularly as the youngsters develop fundamentals early. And what I look at is boldness and fearlessness and go on that court wanting to win, not fearing to lose, because those are two different approaches to winning. So I would just say, again, having fun, playing it because it's what you want to do, and then utilizing those gifts and talents you have to be a great player. So it is so fun to see these champions, Mateus, and we're going to continue to see more. I've seen a lot of great young players even today, so we're excited.
Well, thank you very much for joining us today, Cindy. And again, thank you for everything you've done for junior tennis.
Thank you, Mateus.
Thank you.
Likewise.